Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today I'm out here in my squash garden and we have a bit of an issue. So I did some research on it and you can tell it's really crazy. All those leaves, right? Real bad. So today we are going to be pruning our squash. So let me walk you through what's going on, what's happening, and what we're going to be doing. Now when I first looked at this I thought, man, yeah, there were a lot of plants in there, but there's also a crap ton of leaves. And I really didn't think much of it. But then I started having some issues with some of my zucchini. And I did some research on it, and I think I found the problem. So there's a couple different issues here. The first of which being, this is a good zucchini. You can see that it's, decently sized. I know zucchini can get stinking huge, but this is like a good sized zucchini, right? Normal size, completely dark green. But this is what we've been getting. I've never gotten yellow zucchini before. So I did some research on it. This, in fact, is not right. Issue number 2. See all this white on these leaves? This is powdery mildew. This is a plant disease common in squash, but I figured out why this is happening. So, lots of leaves, right? Too many leaves. This is too much. Too many leaves overlapping each other, which means there's not enough airflow. They're just basically suffocating each other. Leaves are rotting. There's more diseases, more, powdery mildew growing. So we got to deal with that. But another issue with our yellowing zucchini and why that's happening is our plants are not getting pollinated like they should be. Now, some will say, oh, it's a soil deficiency. There's not enough calcium in your dirt. That's why your zucchini plants are only getting so big and turning yellow. That's what they'll say. But another issue, and majority of the time, it's they're not getting pollinated. So, plus if they're not getting pollinated, you're not getting a large, harvest off of all of this. And wouldn't y'all think that this would produce a lot? Because I would. And, I'm not seeing too much because there's just too much leaves. These plants are putting too much effort into these leaves. The bees, they can't find the flowers because there's just too many leaves. And, we're starting to get diseases and pests because the leaves are overlapping. There's not enough airflow. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do our best to get in here. And it's going to be really hard because these things are about half the height of me. So I'm going to get lost in here. But we're going to do our best to trim back as much as possible to allow more airflow, better growth for our plants, and allow the bees to find these flowers a whole lot better. All right, so how to prune. I have my garden scissors. And basically I'm going to show you the difference between a male, female flower, what you need to prune, what you don't want to prune, and how to prune it. So let's try to find a way in here. It's like I said, it's really chaotic. Let me find a way in here and I will show you all how that looks. I pruned a couple, but we're in, so let me show you what's going on. So obviously any yellow leaves need to be discarded because they're not going to benefit your plant in any way. They're already dying and it's just going to, grow moldy, go rotten, and then it's going to attract your predatory insects, gnats, stuff that you just don't want on your plants. You just want to get rid of any yellow leaves that are infected or diseased. Next up, as you can see in here, not dark green zucchini. You can see there's some. Here's one. That's a nice zucchini, but these ones are still not right. These may be edible. I'm not totally sure, but they're still not right. Now, this right here, this is a different variety. This is a female squash flower. So right here, you can see that the female flowers are attached to the gourd itself. This is a male flower. These are what the bees will pollinate. The bees will come in You can see there's a couple bees here. The bees will come in, pollinate the flower, take it, carry it over to the female plant, which will then become pollinated, and it will grow these squash. But if your bees cannot find your male flowers and your female flowers, then you're not going to get any produce. In the grand scheme of things, it would have been best if I would have pruned this all back when these first started. But you know, I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know you could prune squash plants. But now it's a problem, and now I have to take care of it. Now, another way you can pollinate, if your bees cannot find your flowers, is one, there's like two options. One, you need to start planting flowers around your garden space. That way the bees can find it easier. Or two, you need to manually pollinate the flowers yourself. So I showed you the male flowers, and I showed you the female flowers. Basically, take a Q-tip, get the pollen off of the male flowers, and attach it, wipe it around on the female flower, and that will pollinate your crops. It's pretty simple, but you can tell the difference between the male and female flowers. We are not cutting those because those are necessary. All we are cutting today is the leaves. Getting rid of the leaves and just trimming off to see if we can help this grow. I gave an example of what to cut and what not to cut because I accidentally cut it in the process of trying to create this little hole. So this right here, this is what you want to cut. This is just a leaf, just a stalk, just a leaf. You can tell these are hollow inside, just a leaf. That's it. Don't cut anything with flowers on it because obviously flowers are what you need to keep. That's pretty self-explanatory. And don't cut anything with fruit on it. So this is an example of something that I cut. This is a vine. This was growing. So see this, it's just like pruning tomatoes. You know, you want to cut your leaves. You don't want to cut the suckers. So basically that's what this is. So this right here, this leaf, this could have gone. Not the whole thing, but like this leaf, not helping anything. But this right here, this little bud, that was gonna be something, but I accidentally cut it off. So you know what? We're here now. We're using this as a learning example. Don't do what I just did. So, we're here now. Let's go through and let's trim some of these off. So we're gonna get in here. You can see this whole stem right here. This is just a stem. Cut it off, pull it out. Here it is. This is a leaf. We don't want it. Throw it in the pile. And this is basically all we're doing is just cutting off the leaves, getting rid of them. Do not leave your leaves to compost because once again, they're going to all rot and then it's eventually just going to cause a bigger mess, more, pests. You can see here, this is what happens when there's just too much in this area. They're not getting sun. We got our rotten leaves, rotten flowers, rotten stems that are just going to waste. So don't leave these things just, laying on the ground. Get rid of them. We don't need them anymore. They're all rotten. They're yellow. They're bad. You can see all these, gotta get all these out because these are just nasty grossness that needed to be removed a while ago. And this is gonna attract these little guys. These are cucumber beetles, squash bugs, whatever you want to call them. These are going to kill your plants. So get rid of anything like that. Once again, male flower. You can see the stem. Don't cut that. This is going to be a plant. Or maybe it's going to be a flower. I don't know. Just don't cut those. And obviously don't cut anything with the fruit actually on it. And when you're trimming these, trim down to the base of your leaf. I obviously don't want to prune this too aggressively because in the grand scheme of things, zucchini and other squash, they have these leaves for a reason. They are still not completely full sun plants. So I'm keeping majority of them, but getting rid of the ones that are just really overlapping, rotten, or covered in the powdery mildew. keep up with your squash plants before they get this crazy. This is an example of what you shouldn't do, but you know, since I'm last minute and now I'm taking care of it, so I figured I'd just hop on here, show you guys how to do this, and I thought it'd be a good learning example. Yo! I'm gonna be out here for a couple hours working on this, trying to get it cleaned up to the place where I like it. That's gonna help airflow, help them pollinate properly, and less pests and diseases. So I hope this taught you something. Don't do what I did, let things go crazy, but once again, I didn't know. So we're coming at it now, full force, giving it a try, seeing if it helps. I hope this helped you out. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you in the next one.